What up? Yo, it's your boy, this is Galvin, coming at you guys with episode 3. So I hope y'all ready for this. A little different scenery this time. Like I said, I'm just working on the quality, trying to see what location is best until I get the cam, you know what I'm saying? It'll be soon. Anyway, let's get right into it. So last time we talked, you guys already found out about what the first date was like. It wasn't really like the first date, but what the first day was like, me being with her. So now I'm going to get into, kind of some of the things I kind of noticed over the next couple of months, kind of issues I was running into. So I'm going to go over some positives and some negatives to this relationship. And you guys can kind of understand, where I'm coming from at the beginning of this. Let's start off with the negatives. Negative number 1. Having a girl that you want to be around, but you can't be around at all. Not good. Parents had her unlocked so bad, I couldn't see her for nothing. I could not see her for nothing. Now, I'm going to get into when the first time they actually found out about me. And that's, you thought lockdown was bad before. It gets even worse. So, one of the negatives, I can't see her. Never can see her. That's just a really annoying thing. That starts pissing me off really bad later on. That was one thing. The second negative I would have to say is just the fact that distance. So we live in 2 different cities, so not only can I not see you, but if I have the opportunity to see you, you're too far for me to see. If there's a small opportunity window, like let's say she hits me up like, oh, I got 15 minutes. You can come meet me at this spot in like 15 minutes. I can't make it there in 15 minutes. That was annoying, knowing I had opportunities and I couldn't get there. Even when I had my car, I was like, damn, that sucks. Another negative to this whole thing was on her end, she couldn't let nobody know that she was dating me. So you got to kind of think of it like this. She was a witness. So in her life, pretty much dating was pretty much like not supposed to be happening. She had a lot of morale for dating, a lot of morale and doing the right thing and everything, but at the same time, she was kind of rebellious. So at the same time, you kind of understand like why she would be dating. But anyways, she couldn't tell anybody that she was dating me. So it'd be like she'd have a bunch of friends. She can't say nothing about me. And if they can't know nothing. Nobody can know nothing. I think one of her friends knew. And that, I may not understand why that would piss me off, but that definitely did, because it'd be like, oh, you can't rep me. And I just kind of was like that. I was younger. I wanted everybody to know, like, yo, this is who I'm with, because I actually decided to be with this person and they need to do the same. But you couldn't have that. So it's 3 negatives right there that was kind of like, it was getting on my nerves. Another negative that I kind of learned that I had to deal with this situation was just a lack of experience. Like, she didn't really know anything. So, like, she didn't know how to kiss anybody. I know this is mad deep and a little exposed, but I'm not. I'm just keeping it mad 100 with y'all right now. She didn't know how to kiss or anything like that. She didn't know how to do anything. So everything was like fresh slate, but at the same time, that can be a negative. Not having experience can be a negative, but there is great things about not having experience as well, which I'm going to get into. So the first thing positive that she had was morale. I never met anybody as kind as she was. I never met anybody that was legitimately giving a damn about things, people, things going on. She was legitimately in tune, and she really did care. She was just immaculately just correct with that. Another positive with her was that she would ride to the end. Like, she would do whatever she could do, even to put herself at risk sometimes to just ride for her dude. That was another thing. It was a positive. Another third positive to her is I could trust her. That may sound really weird that I'm just throwing that in there like that, but yo, to be able to truly trust somebody is something. Trust me. I don't think I've ever recovered and really been able to truly try to trust anybody without some kind of neutral, balanced thing. Like, oh, I can trust you, then you can trust me type thing. But with her, she just had it. Like, she just had it. So trust was a perfect thing for her. She was good at that. And another thing, she was spiritual. So she would always be teaching me about stuff. So a lot of people probably wouldn't understand right off the bat exactly what it is about this girl that makes her so important and why she's such a pivotal part in my development as far as what I became. It's because she was very spiritual. So she would always be schooling me on things. I can tell you guys a little something. The first gift I ever got from her was a CD. Now, the CD was pretty much like a bunch of songs that she liked. She's a couple songs she knew I liked, but she made me a CD that it was pretty cool. It had this custom thing on it where she wrote a bunch of scriptures and our number, and our number, we had because we couldn't do anything out loud, we had a lot of code for things. So I'm pretty much using this video just to explain to you guys us, how we were within the first couple months. We had a lot of code for things. 131 was one of our codes, pretty much January 31st, the day that we started dating. We had a lot of things like that. A lot of little weird things like that. Still, I'm pretty sure if she hears that number sequence or other little things, she'll think about it even to this day. But there was a lot of little things like that. But back to what I was saying. Essentially, she had a lot of positives, yo. She was just an immaculate type of person. I haven't really ran into anybody like that. And to me, that was just like, damn, well, I'm looking for companionship. This is exactly what I want. And a lot of y'all can relate because a lot of y'all want the same thing. A lot of us want what we look for in a person. You know, who doesn't want that? So I had that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, I'm not even 21 yet. And I got this? What? It's over. That's how I was thinking. I had the negatives, I had the positives, but they outweighed. Like, you know, the positives was up here, negatives was, you know, down there, but it was annoying. But overall, over those first couple of months of me chilling with her, I kind of realized, like, yo, these positives crush these negatives. Yeah, I can't see her when I want. Yeah, I can't bring her around the boys. Yeah, I can't do this. Yeah, she can't rep me. Blah, blah, blah. But the positives I had, I wasn't dealing with the things that everybody else was dealing with their girl. So what I would do is I would just rock this little dog tag I had with her picture on it. Because I was like, yo, I can't ever have her around me, but chicks are still trying to holler. I was keeping it mad faithful. It was just like, nah. I always used to wear it on my neck. People used to think that was arrogant. But I used to do it because not only did it was a way for me to, like, rep her, which I wanted to do, I was just like, why not? Like, so she knows that I'm keeping it, you know, keeping it 100. Regardless, within the first couple months, we got very, very close. We had a lot of really close moments. There was a lot of times where we would go out. Like, there was one time where I think the third time I got her out the house, which was kind of crazy. Got her out the house, and we went to, like, somewhere. I forgot where it was. It was like some park or something. It was like the middle of the night, but it was a place. And where I come from, you can kind of go to those. You can sneak into those places. We went to the park and we're just chilling, just talking. See, a lot of the difference between me and her and a lot of the other people I dealt with is that we weren't in a rush for anything. So it was like me and her were just on some let's get to know each other. We just had natural chemistry. Almost soulmate-like chemistry. It was really crazy, yo. Like, we just connected on every aspect. Like, she would teach me things, I would teach her things. We had two different lives. And I think that's important. You don't necessarily want to have all the kind of similarities to the person you're dealing with. We had two different completely types of styles, vibes, and everything, but we meshed very well. She could hold me down when I emotionally get upset or pissed off about something. I could hold her down when she needs to be strong or vent about something that's going on in her life, because both of us just kind of wanted to be around each other. That's all that mattered. We pretty much made each other very important to each other. I guess that's how relationships should be. I don't know if they're like that now necessarily, but that's how it was between me and her. So essentially, just to kind of get y'all in the picture that, yo, we became dumb close. I'm trying to think about the first time I told her I love her. Where was that? I don't remember. I believe it came... See, that's a good thing to put in this video, because it came within the first 6 months. I told her that. And I believe that it was kind of like in a poem almost. I wrote some, the stuff that she would used to inspire me to write was insane. And it's interesting because back then it was about my writing and, writing poems and things like that. And now it's more about my music. Like, I can outlet it that way. And you guys will find out eventually why that is. But back then I wrote something to her that kind of had that encrypted. It was like some kind of poem that each paragraph started off with a different letter. So there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it was 8 paragraphs, and they were kind of quick, but each paragraph would start off with a different letter. So like I, and then L, O, V, E, all the way down to the bottom. She didn't even notice it until a couple days after I gave it to her. She kind of picked up on it, and it was pretty much my little slick way of doing that. But we felt like that way before we even realized it. And I didn't realize what it was. Remember I told you guys that we were kind of synchronized? I remember the first, like I told you guys in that last video, I never felt like I was in tune with somebody like that. So me and her were just chilling one night, and our heartbeats were literally exactly the same. And I didn't even realize it until I was like, yo, are you breathing? And I realized that she was like laying on me. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. We were breathing exactly the same, our heartbeats the same. I didn't really know about that at that point. So it was crazy. We were mad close. I just want to emphasize that. We were mad close before any of the BS started. Now let's get into the BS now, shall we? This is where things start getting rough. I already told you guys the negatives I had within the first couple of months. So let's talk about one time where we go out. We go out somewhere. It was during the daytime. She went with her friend. We were hanging out. We were chilling. Still wasn't on no doing stuff. We still didn't kiss yet. It was a couple months later. Now, I know y'all like, what? Nigga, what? You still didn't kiss yet? No, we didn't. But let me get to that now. Since we have I'm doing 15-minute videos. We're about 9 minutes, 50-something seconds in. Let's get into that. So, this is like, in the first 5 months, I think I only snuck her out the house like 5 times. It was like once a month, yo. So we got to this point where I snuck her out with my two friends. My friends Toogie, which you already know about my godbrother Toogie, and my friend Justin. So I call him J.O. So J.O. and Toogie are with me. I go get her. Because I didn't have a car at that point, so they had to go get her. That's the only reason they were there. So I went and go got her. She came out. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how it was. I'm telling y'all I'm gonna explain this like I never really explained to anybody, so I don't go into this much detail, but let y'all know exactly how this went down. All right. So we pull up to the crib. We're at the bottom of the hill again. I told you guys how that works. Being at the bottom of the hill, you gotta wait for her to kind of walk around. We're chilling down there. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, I don't really want to deal with her here with them. I mean, they never really were around her like that. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't want to have to slap one of my friends or my godbrother. But, this is what I had to do it because I had to see her. And this was around a 6-month anniversary. So it's like 6 months. And it can't be anniversary in 6 months. I hate that. 6 months of dating. Let's just say that. You can't have an annual versary in 6 months, which is not even a year. But y'all know how that is. Anyway. Go to pick her up. She comes out. I didn't even expect. She came out in this black. It's like a black skirt, but it wasn't a skirt. It was like a dress. Y'all remember that song off of my new album, the whole sundresses. Yeah. You. This is what that comes from. So she comes out in this black dress, and I'm just like, I'm like that. Never seen her like that before. So I'm still getting surprised 6 months later. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, because she came around the corner. I didn't realize who she was at first. I never seen her wear anything kind of like that. Usually things she sneaks out in kind of baggy and whatnot. So I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So I found out, but they found out at the same time, unfortunately. So I was just like, damn. She came out in this nice little black dress. She was chilling. Gets in the car, we're chilling. So we're driving around, we're talking. She looks at me and she tells me something along the lines of like, she said something along the lines like, I'm really happy to be out with you. Even though it was crazy, I was really nervous to sneak out, but I did it anyway. I hope I don't get caught and everything. I'm like, you shouldn't get caught. You should be all right. But I'm told her I'm glad I'm here. And then she mentioned that pretty much she wants to make it something that she remembers. She wants this night to be something that she's not going to forget. Now, she wasn't saying that to be a whore. She was just saying that in a way to give me the hint, like, hey, can we finally do, break this barrier, essentially that we had. And the only reason I was like that is because I respected her so much. So that's another huge difference. I respected her mad much. So it was just like, I didn't want to rush things at all. I felt like she'd be there forever. So I was like, there's no need to rush. What's 6 months? Let's respect it. Let's do it how we need to do it. Let's build up our foundation before we do anything that ruins it. Plus, she's a virgin. She never kissed anybody, never did anything. What's the rush? She hasn't done anything in 15 years. There's no reason to do anything in 6 months. That's how I looked at it. That's why it worked for me. So that time comes. We're in the car. I'm telling her, I'm like, all right, we can definitely get this popping. So we go driving around somewhere. During the drive, sometime we start talking. And, I just pretty much tell her like, all right, well, we're gonna do what we gotta do sometime tonight. I'm not even telling her when. I'm just like, sometime we'll do it. It's not something I'm gonna be like, all right, you ready to kiss me? I'm not gonna do that. It's more along the lines of when it happens, it happens. So later on, we get down to the riverfront. We're at the riverfront. They leave. They're outside with some damn toy. It's like a spring. It's like a spring with a glove on it. Like a big ass homie in a clown hand with a spring on the bottom. And they're running around just whacking each other with it and acting stupid. So they had this little softball bat, this little wiffle bat, and they had that hand thing and they were just acting stupid. So I'm in the car chilling with her, and the way that first kiss happened was we were just talking about something, talking, and then it just happened. It was crazy. It's like it wasn't even planned like that. Just boom, it just happened. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's kind of like she didn't really know what she was doing, so I had to kind of school her, all right, try to do this. You know what I'm saying? I had to, do what I had to do. Being the one that had a little bit more experience, had to school her a little bit. This is how you do that. Do this. Kind of like the way I would want somebody to do it, so to speak. Anyway, so that's the first time we kissed. It was just something that kind of just happened out of nowhere. Boom, it happened. It was natural, and it wasn't bad at all. Especially for somebody that didn't have any experience. It definitely surprised me. I was just like, I enjoyed it. I was like, yo, it's a long time coming. It's all good. Good, I'm glad that we got that out the way. So after that point, kissing was just something that was always happen like this, which we're going to get into how that causes trouble later on. Okay? So yes, we will get into that. Anyway, to finish this off, when they get back, we get out the car after we, finish making out or whatever. We get out the car. We go over there to them. We're all chilling. It's time to go. Here's where shit gets stupid. I get in the car first. No, I get in the car. I get in the car last. Justin gets in the car. He's in the driver's seat. Toogie's behind me. Mia gets in the car first. No, sorry, I'm sorry. Toogie goes around the car. He gets in the passenger seat after Justin gets in the driver's seat. Now it's just me and Mia. Mia gets in first. So she has this crazy little tight black dress thing on. She kind of crawls in to go behind the passenger seat, and Toogie takes the hand thing and hits her on the ass with it. Now, I want y'all to just think about that for a second. I want y'all to think about the 6 months. I want y'all to think about all the waiting, how close I told you that we were. Just want y'all to think about that for a second. Okay. He did that. I seen it. I was like, that nigga's face was like, I was like, yo, get out the car real quick, son. He didn't want to get out the car. I was like, yo, get out the car real quick. He's like, nah, chill. I was like, all right. I walked around to the passenger seat. I was like, yo, I'm like, do you want me to hit you now or do you want me to hit you later? Because I'm fucking definitely hitting you for that. He's like, what do I do? I was like, yo, don't play stupid with me. So he's like, what do I do? I mushed him. I was on some real rage stuff at that point. Mushed him into the seat. He swung the thing at my face. I moved away and hit the side of the door and I punched him. After I hit him, he's like, chill. I didn't even hit him that hard. I just tapped him real quick. And she's looking at me like, what are you hitting him for? She didn't even feel it happen. Because he was pretending, I couldn't see, but from my perspective, since I'm behind her, it just looked like a hit her in the ass. It was just the idea that he would do something like that pissed me off. He was trying to show off. So I tapped his shit. And this wasn't the first time I had to hit him. I actually we'll get to that when I get to that. Anyway, I tapped him for it. He looked at me, he's like, yo, chill, I'm sorry. Because he's like my little brother. So you kind of understand how those sibling quarrels are. Anyway, long story short, after that, I kind of chilled out a little bit. And got back in the car, drove her back home. She got back in the house. Everything was good. I went back with them. I pretty much choked the shit out of him for that too, by the way. As soon as we dropped her off and she walked out the car, I kind of reached over the seat and just started choking the shit out of him. I was like, you ever do that trick? Just choking him. He's like, teacher. He's like choking and joy, but regardless, that's how that went. And pretty much ever since then, I didn't have no problems with Toogie in that, because later on, real soon, as in this next video, what happened is Toogie ends up getting some girl that used to just sneak out with us. So it'd become this whole crazy double date thing, and that crap was crazy. So we're going to get to that next time. Pretty much what I wanted to really express in this particular episode is how much everything